Hi everybody, I'm David Crisaro and it is time to be awesome. We are here literally backstage at Monday Night Magic, New York City's longest running off-Broadway magic show, and I am here with one of the producers of Monday Night Magic, the all-incredible Todd Robbins. Todd?
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Thanks for coming on.
I'm enjoying this so far.
Todd, so far. Could get a lot worse.
You never know. Right.
Todd, can you talk for a minute, for those
Sure.
people who are watching don't know, how long has Monday Night Magic been running in New York?
We are in our, I think our 12th year now. We're 11th year going into the 12th or whatever. And it started out at the Solomon Street Playhouse where the Fantastics performed. And then we've kind of bounced around. Now we're at the Bleecker Street Theater. And it's still going strong. Every Monday night, we basically do about 50 weeks a year, take a couple weeks off. Usually right around the Jewish holidays because no one wants to go out.
Tell me a little bit about what the appeal is for you. Why did you want to be part of bringing a weekly live magic show to New York?
Well, it was part of a work release program. I had to do community service, and this is...
it was either this or garbage on the streets,
yeah,
and to be honest.
And I keep violating the parole, and so they keep pulling me back into this. It was one of these things that there were a number of us that performed at a place called Mostly Magic,
right.
Which was right on the corner here on Carmine Street in Bedford. And when that closed, all of a sudden, New York, this community of more than 8 million people, did not have a place they could go and see magic on a regular basis. So Michael Chaut said that this is something that needs to be remedied, and he played around with a couple different ideas and then settled on doing the weekly show. He realized that it was much more of an undertaking than anyone could really realize, so he needed help. So he reached out to a couple people that he knew. One was Frank Brentz, wonderful old veteran performer who's been there and done that, as we like to say about him, and a remarkable man that's traveled the world for decades and decades and decades performing. And what's remarkable about him is not only he had this great working act, but he was an African-American that was making a darn good living performing magic professionally, which was just unheard of in his era. And so he came on board because he knew Michael from years before. And then Peter Samuelson came on board. And Peter said there's a couple other guys that you should know about. One was Jamie Ian Swiss. And then as they were putting it together, Jamie said, you really need someone that can MC the show and host it and really guide the thing once the curtain goes up. So he recommended me. I'd known Jamie for years from Mostly Magic, and also we were neighbors for many, many years. And Michael was like, well, I'll interview him and see what, this. He said, what have I seen him do? And he said, the Big Apple Circus. And I went, oh, I saw him. Yeah, oh yeah, can we get that guy? And like, yeah. So it just worked out that I kind of came on as just an act, as a MC, and also with all the sideshow stuff that I do. It'd be kind of an interesting mix. And then what happened was Michael decided that it should be formalized, so the five of us became partners in ownership of the show here. So that's really how it came about. And when we first started, it was really difficult. Now, after 11 years, it's almost impossible. So.
One of the few things that gets harder as it goes along.
Well, there's always new challenges. And finding an audience each and every week. And what's really challenging is with no advertising to sort of pierce the din of all that is assaulting the senses of these 8 million people that are in the community here, and let people know about what we're doing.
And that really is an interesting point, because I've been performing here at Monday Night Magic for just about a year, and I'm pleasantly surprised how often it's sold out with no advertising.
Well, first off, it is a novelty because there isn't that much magic on a regular basis. You've got Chamber Magic with Steve Cohen, but that's a very upscale thing. And then you have a few shows that have popped up here and there working a night. But usually they're a single performer and they're the same performer every week. So the variety of what we do is kind of nice, and that we have a different mix-up of performers every week. We have a sort of a stable of magicians, but we rotate them through so that it's not the same people every week. Except for a guy who's emceeing the show, and he's
but he's good. He's really good.
Well,
he's really good.
Let me give you some money.
He really
here
is.
And now.
That's Jamie, right? Are we talking about Jamie or you?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in that 11-year, almost 12-year span, can you just talk for a second about how has How has the show changed, and has it been a response to audiences changing, or just a response to you guys changing?
When we started off, the first Monday of every month was going to be jam night, and it was going to be sort of like an open mic night, kind of. It was sort of an invitational thing where we extended, and everyone would do a little short piece. And it was for established performers to try out new material, and also to try out
New acts.
And it was a cheaper ticket. It was, I think it was about $10 less than the regular ticket. And the audience told us that they didn't want to see that. They wanted to see a real show. And that's really the challenge, is to do a show that is of a off-Broadway caliber.
Well, wait 1 second. Go ahead.
Yeah.
See, we're literally backstage. This is what happens backstage right now.
So we needed a chair. Did you say bring it up here?
Yeah, put it right there. It's fine.
Great,
Thank you
thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Sorry. That's all right.
And you bring in the dancing girl.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My wife calls, I'm not here.
Yes. So it worked out that they wanted a show, and that's the challenge, is to really do something that is of the level of the rest of off-Broadway, which is like a little mini Broadway now. So we've kind of kept the production value as simple as possible. We basically just have to put up our sign and work on it, whatever set is in the theater, and use the house lights and house sound and things like that. But it's amazing what that does is, by stripping away all that, you focus on the acts. And the challenge is to find variety without really resorting to too many variety acts. I mean, we have a few folks like Chris McDaniel, who does Wild West stuff with roping and whipping and things like that, and the Throdini, and John Cassidy, which is does a balloon act, nuttiest act you've ever seen.
Incredible.
So we put those in the middle and try to get as much magic in there as possible, or let it kind of blend in as well as possible with what we're doing, because people come to see a magic show.
Right.
And it's interesting. Every once in a while, some organizations decide they're going to do a big public magic show. And usually what they slap together, from what I've seen, is atrocious. Because it's so hard to find a show that has real variety and yet is all magic. And I mean, there have been a number of times that I've seen shows that have been a salute to the Lincoln Rings, because every act did the Lincoln Rings.
Right.
And it's like, what? Can't you just ask the performers what they're doing? And we occasionally trip up like that. And we've made a few little faux pas through the years of performers. The headliner has a piece that, and we unknowingly, a new or an out-of-town performer is coming in doing the middle section, or vice versa, and we didn't know that there was that duplication. So occasionally it gets a little bumpy, even after all these years.
But that's been pretty rare, and it really is a testament to audiences that come back week after week, or come back several times throughout the year. They're here because they want to see good magic.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's anything. It's entertainment. They want good entertainment, good form of magic. And I mean, a lot of shows, a lot of the burlesque shows and things that are being done kind of on the cheap around town are kind of big on schlock. They kind of like the idea that everything is kind of amateuric. I mean, that's not what we're doing, because we're asking for a decent price. It's a lot cheaper than just about or even off-Broadway. Off-Broadway's now getting up to $65 and $75 for a ticket. It's remarkable. So ours is a lot less, but at the same time, we want to make sure the quality is up there and comparable, so that there's nothing to kind of apologize for. And also, and this is a very important thing, that we did this not just because we're great giving people and we love the idea of providing a magic show for the public, when it's also a great showcase. And people come and now rely upon us, the producers, as sort of a resource, so we can occasionally get gigs that will offset the lousy money that we pay our performers. Usually the money that's real short is called an honorarium.
Right, and I've been honored to get...
With our money, what we pay is so lousy, it's a dishonorarium. But hopefully there are trade-offs in other ways. First off, it's a destination. People come to see a magic show.
Yeah.
You're not walking into a bar mitzvah or as a performer or some other function that people don't know there's a magician there. You have to kind of win them over. People have come here to see a magic show.
And one of the things we're going to talk about next week with some of the performers that we're going to interview is what the appeal is to being on an off-Broadway magic show and coming back week after week. What that appeal is to performing for a changing audience.
And as a producer, I'm so happy that they find that there is something there, and I'm glad they're such suckers. There's no reason to be. No.
Todd, one last question. Where do you see the show? Do you see the show changing at all in the next few years? Do you want to get bigger? Do you want to stay the intimate sort of magic that we've got? Do you want to get a lot bigger? Do you?
Well, this seems to work for us, and the public keeps coming, so there's something about it that is rewarding for them, and so I guess we'll for the most part stick to what we're doing. We have expanded a little bit. We've started up a new show up at Feinstein's at the Lowe's Regency, which is a 5-star hotel and the best cabaret room in the city that features big name acts, and it's a high-ticket show. So we have put together a different show for that, for what's up there. So there's occasionally we do some things like that. We've branched out through the years. Jamie, a number of years ago, we had an opportunity to do work at the Rainbow Room in one of their private suites that they had up there. A beautiful room called the Radio City Suite, and it had just gorgeous view at the top of the Rockefeller Center there. And Jamie did a formal close-up show, an hour of close-up magic. It was gorgeous. And I did Sideshow Saturday Night, which was all sideshow stuff on Saturday night. Which, if you're doing a show called Sideshow Saturday Night,
it's best.
Because you do it on Tuesday. No one comes.
Nobody comes. Same reason Monday Night Magic is not on the third Thursday.
Yeah, because
it was too confusing.
They don't wait. They don't wait. You'd think they'd wait around if the show's good enough, but they don't.
No, people are suckers.
So we occasionally have branched out and done things like that. We've done some kid shows. We did a kid show series called Magic Matinee for a while, and we just try different things every once in a while just to break things up a little bit. So who knows what the future will be.
Well, that's great. I appreciate you coming on real quick.
My pleasure.
We're going to talk to some other guys, too. Monday Night Magic, Bleecker Street Theater, New York City. If you're ever coming into town, you can go to www.mondaynightmagic.com for tickets and information. Todd, appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, everybody.
See you at Monday Night Magic.
I'm here with the head producer of New York City's longest-running magic show, Monday Night Magic, Michael Chaut. Michael, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
I object to that introduction, head producer.
The main guy.
One of the 5 producers of the show. I founded it, yes, that's true, but I am not the head producer.
Well, the key
we
founder.
We all have different jobs, and I'm just one key, one pot. It's late at night here. One cog in the wheel. That is me. One cog in the wheel.
We are actually backstage at Monday Night Magic, and we actually just finished a performance of Monday Night Magic where Michael opened the show.
David was wonderful.
Thank you very much. And Michael opened the show and did a great job as always. Michael, I want you to talk for just a couple seconds here. For the people out there who are across this country who don't know a lot about Monday Night Magic yet, talk about why you wanted a weekly magic show in New York. Was there a void that you wanted to fill, or did you just want to bring something to the public?
Well, Monday Night Magic started approximately 3 years after Mostly Magic had closed. And Mostly Magic was, at the time, the longest-running venue in New York, and it gave guys a place to work out and a place for people to see really great magic. And there was none in New York. I actually was, but prior to this rendition of Monday Night Magic, I was a partner in a restaurant, and they wanted to do a weekly show, and they wanted it to be about magic, and so we actually started Monday Night Magic a year before we moved into a theater in a restaurant. Unfortunately, the restaurant closed, and a year later I decided to try it again, and we moved it to a theater. So the real reason was that, yes, there was a void, and we wanted a place for people to come and be able to see great magic and for magicians to do it. So that's the short answer.
Considering sort of where it was in the beginning and where it has grown to become, is this sort of what you had hoped or what you had expected, or has this exceeded what you thought you were getting into?
I never in my wildest imagination thought the show would be running for 12 years. Well, soon to be we're in our 12th year. Our anniversary will be in June. I'm terribly excited. It has exceeded all of my possible dreams, and there are more to come. With the new show Magical Nights at Feinstein's, we're extremely excited about it. It seems to be going really well, and we're hoping to be able to branch out and do bigger and better things.
What were some of the challenges that you have faced that you are proud to have solved or figured out, considering it's a weekly magic show, a different magic show every Monday, almost always packed house? I mean, these are not easy things, I'm sure, that to deal with.
Well,
but yet you have.
The initial challenge was losing first year. We lost money every week.
Okay.
And it's hard when you're, taking a financial hit every week, and you have to really believe in your product. And the thing is that every week people left, and they all left with smiles on their faces, and I knew that we had the right idea. We just had to really keep at it and get the word out. We didn't have money for advertising, so we did promotions instead, and the concept, has held on. We sort of started making money by the end of our second year, and then if I can say if anyone's getting into this business to make money, it's not a money-making business. But we have accomplished our goal. I mean, Monday Night Magic is really known worldwide, and both laymen and magicians know it as a place to see and perform great magic. So we're very excited.
It really is such a great venue, and it's really incredible to come here each week and see a packed house of non-magicians. I mean, there's some magicians mixed in, but there's non-magicians who just want to see a good magic show in New York.
Well, last week in particular, I was so excited because you see standing ovations every now and then at Monday Night Magic, but typically they're led by the magicians in the audience. Right. Last week, Rocco performed, and the conditions at our newest and latest and greatest theater are not great for an act like Rocco's, and he did his job. And the layman, it was the fastest real standing ovation I've seen in 12 years. The laymen jumped to their feet. It was not led by magicians, and Rocco got the real deal. I mean, and Rocco is the real deal.
Oh, yeah.
And there are probably, 5 to 10 moments that I can remember over the last 12 years, and that was one of the great ones.
That's really good.
When early on, I can remember at the Sullivan Street Playhouse, standing in the wings, and David Oliver was doing his famous zombie routine, and there was a child in the front row, and I was looking over David's right shoulder. The child was seated audience right, and the child was like this. His mouth was open, his eyes were just like stardust, and he was going, and that also will be a memory that I take.
That's really great. That's really great. One final question. Talk about the future of the show. Where do you see? Are you happy with what it is? Do you see it getting bigger? Do you see it getting? Do you want to stay with the intimate sort of magic that we do now?
Yeah, it's really hard to say. I think the purpose of Monday Night Magic has been to present an opportunity for people like myself and you to showcase for the real clients who will come and hire us to do events. And the focus over the next couple of years is to be able to get more of those types of people in the theater so that they see what we do, and to get work for people like you and me and all of the other 250 so performers that have supported the venue over the last 12 years. I mean, the idea is so that people can see that magic isn't Little David's birthday party, and that it can be really sophisticated and terrific and fun, and that they would want to have us at their private events and corporate events and parties.
Just really strengthening magic in and of itself, just the art of magic, by showing what it can be, what the professionals do, and having an outlet for it in New York, which is just so rare.
How many times are you performing and someone, and you've done a great trick, and someone says, "Oh, it's a shame my grandson isn't here."
Yes.
And you want to turn to them and say, "Did you not just like what I did?" Because people think that magic is for kids. And we are 1 week at a time, one show at a time, showing them that this is not an art form for children, it's an art form for adults that can have a great time.
Well, Michael, thank you very much for coming on. Again, if you're anywhere in the East Coast and you want to take a ride, MondayNightMagic.com. That's the place to get the schedule, ticket information, the address, everything you need. You heard it right here from Michael. It's a great venue, and there's always high-class professional performers, both stage and close-up, so you get to see a full night's worth of magic. Definitely come check it out. Michael,
come see David.
Thanks for coming on, Michael. My name's been David Casal. This is Michael Chaut. Now go be awesome. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Appreciate it. Thank you.